And so there's a lot of city staff involved in this, and that's what you see obviously represented up here, but certainly much credit to the team and the Chamber of Commerce, downtown OKC, lots of entities in our city have pulled together to make this possible. And what this is merely the biggest event in the history of Oklahoma City. This is going to be unlike anything we've ever seen. Somebody told me yesterday that OU 1985 football championship team had a parade in downtown. Something for you to research, Steve. I was told that the Blazers, I think, maybe had something. So there's some precedent, but obviously the numbers are going to be staggering tomorrow, and that's exciting. And I'm not trying to diminish them. I will say here at this podium today, I want to invite all the residents of our city, that's 712,000 people, all the residents of the metro area, that's 1.5 million, all Thunder fans across the state and across the world to come. I recognize that everybody will, or is interested, or is physically able, but you are welcome. If you want to be here, this is the moment you've been waiting for. And interestingly enough, you know, people have talked to me literally about this for 2 years. You know, it's like people really are into parades, as it turns out, and they've been waiting for this. So here it is. So come. And along those same lines, and I don't do this lightly. I mean, I understand what I'm about to say puts pressure on employers, but I wouldn't do this under any other circumstances. But I do encourage the employers of Oklahoma City to accommodate the attendance of their employees and those who are in charge of anyone's schedule, whether you have a meeting, whether you have a gathering of any kind. I apologize for the inconvenience, but you know, these moments only come along once in a lifetime. And I say that saying, I hope that we're on the start of a dynasty, but you only get your first championship once, and it truly is once in a lifetime for our city. And I hope that as to the greatest extent possible, people can allow anyone whose schedule might be a little bit in their control to come and participate in this. Okay, so having said that, having just encouraged basically 4 million people to come to downtown Oklahoma City tomorrow, I now want to ask everyone who does come for your patience, for your grace, and for a full understanding that though what we may outline today is, you know, maybe a couple hours of programming, this is an all-day affair if you want to come to this. Like this, the ingress and egress is going to be hours, right? I mean, where would you even park all these people? I mean, think about the things that we have here of the greatest magnitude. Things like the Kings of Leon concert that had, you know, I think 30,000 people. Things like our games that have 18,000. And then obviously multiply that times many, 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 many multiples. We're just not built for that. And we're not gonna be able to build for that in the next 24 hours. So, you know, things that you may have thought were once absurd, like, I don't know, parking your car in Paseo and walking to downtown, right, are things you have to consider tomorrow. And obviously public transit is something we want to strongly encourage, and we're gonna have our public transit director talk about that in a moment. But expect lots of walking, expect lots of time, and just be ready to show grace to each other. Exhibit the Oklahoma standard tomorrow, and bring water. And that's critical. I mean, think about all those people. You can't even assume, hey, I know where there's a gas station, I'll just jump in there. I mean, the shelves will probably be empty. I mean, you gotta kind of take care of yourself tomorrow. Bring some water, bring a bottle, you know, that you can maybe refill. And I think we'll speak to that probably in a few minutes as well. Okay, now let me give you a little bit more detail about what we're even talking about. So there's really two main components open to the public, and a third component that's more of that's just a television event. And so let me lay all that out. So starting at 9, there will be some programming inside the arena. That is not open to the public, but that will be broadcast on television, and that will be broadcast on the screens around the parade route and in Scissortail Park. So, of course, we're encouraging people to get going early. Though the parade starts at 10:30, you shouldn't be trying to arrive in downtown at 10:30. You should be trying to arrive much, much earlier. And I guess I can tell you, you will be entertained as you stand there waiting for this to begin, because there will be some programming on the screen starting at 9. The public event that everyone is invited to commences at 10:30. That is going to start on Northwest 10th and North Harvey. That will head south on Harvey, then west on Fifth Street. And by the way, there's a map of all of this, you know, but just for for a verbal description. You're going to go down Harvey from 10th Street. Then you're going to turn west. We're going to turn west on 5th. We're going to go south on Walker to eat the Oklahoma City Boulevard, and then we are going to go east on Oklahoma City Boulevard, and then turn on Robinson, and the parade will end at Southwest 6th. Parade lasts, we think, an hour and a half for everything to get through. And then there will be a closing event and some remarks at Scissortail Park. So those are kind of two components, parade and the closing event. But you can watch the closing event on the screens that will be displayed throughout the parade. And so you just kind of have to make choices. I mean, some people will have the physical ability to sort of follow the end of the parade if they want down to Scissortail Park, but that's not for everybody. And some people may want to just park down here, park themselves, not their car. That opportunity will have sailed, I'm sure, by 5 a.m. But park themselves down here and and kind of enjoy it here. But I would say this will probably be, this being the Scissortail Park area, will most likely be by far the most crowded part of this whole place. So if you actually want to see anything, you might want to be at 10th Street. You might want to spread yourself out, down up on Harvey. I mean, think about how hundreds of thousands of people spread across, mile and how long is this? Have we a mile? 2 miles? Think about how, 2 miles sounds like a long way, but dropping hundreds of thousands of people along that is obviously going to create situations where it's many people deep. And so your strategy, your parade strategy, is probably best executed by trying to be in some of the places farther from Scissortail Park. That's just my thought. You obviously have to make your own decisions about where you want to be. Okay, so all of these details and more, I think we're going to be continuing to enhance some of the information available at the website in the hours ahead. But okcparade.com is the website for all of this. okcparade.com. All right. Before we get to our guests, let me make sure I've covered everything that Christy Yeager has provided. I should add, street closures are starting to happen now. And so it's already getting a little rough in downtown. And that brings me to a point I made last night that I want to reiterate today. If you have a downtown business or entity, normal operations are not possible tomorrow, and I apologize for that. But analogize it to a weather closure, like an enormous snowstorm or something. I'm the dean of a law school downtown, so I'm actually dealing with this morning. We're closing. It's not possible to continue functioning on Tuesday. So there's the ask of employers across the city to allow their employees to participate, and then there's the reality of, if you are downtown, you simply cannot continue your normal operations on Tuesday, and you will have to probably act accordingly. A few tips to enjoy in addition to what I've already said. Arrive early, obviously. 10:30 parade start, but you should be thinking, it's up to you. You may use your own judgment, but I think if you're not thinking about getting down here by 8 or 9 o'clock, I think you're putting yourself in a challenging situation. And you may want to get here much, much earlier than that. That's up to you. The parade route will be blocked off. And so just think about that. It's kind of like the marathon. If you're on the wrong side of something, you won't be able to get to the other side of it. So if you park on the west side of the parade route after 8:30, you will not be able to get to the east without going, very far north or south. So make a plan on that. And again, just be ready for inconvenience. Cell service. Our cell infrastructure of downtown Oklahoma City, is Jennifer Nakayama here? How many people work in downtown? What's our downtown population that we tell people? About 80,000 people is what we generally have a downtown built for on a standard workday, and imagine that times many multiples, right? So have a plan, have a meeting place, have other ideas for how to communicate with people. Cell service is going to be very, very difficult. And so, maybe set up some meeting places with anyone that you have to separate from. Again, bring your own water bottle and snacks, food and water. I'm sure there'll be as many opportunities as people are going to try to provide for you. But again, just with the sheer magnitude of the numbers, it's going to be challenging if you didn't bring your own. Okay, there will be 3 viewing screens along the route. So screens are places where you can see that 9 o'clock programming we talked about, and where you can also watch, what's happening elsewhere in the parade. And those are at Bicentennial Park, where a sign language interpreter will also be placed. Together Square, not everybody's familiar with that phrase. That is where the basketball courts and futsal is, just west of Mary Gardens. Correct? Yes, Christine? Yes. And then, of course, Scissortail Park. Safety is the number one priority, of course, and safety in every which way, right? Like from everything from heat safety to public safety. So I certainly want to thank all the police officers, the firefighters, IMSA workers, public works, and utilities employees, and everyone else who will be keeping us safe tomorrow. These are people who obviously don't get to get off work tomorrow to come to the parade. They will be at the parade, but they will be working to protect us and to support us, and we're so grateful for that. And so that is a good segue to our first speaker, our police chief, Ron Basie, who will come up and share a few thoughts about the public safety elements of this tomorrow morning. Chief, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Difference between a small forward and a point guard. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you all for being here. First and foremost, I want to offer my congratulations, echo the thoughts of the mayor, to the Thunder organization. I said this last week. A lot of people don't know this. They won the G League championship last year and the NBA championship this year. So for those people who say that Oklahoma City's on the map, we've always been on the map, but now we're in the history books. I want to point out a few things. Our goal is to keep everyone safe tomorrow. We're working very hard to do that. I want to thank our public safety partners for helping us last night with what was a really large crowd. I want to specifically thank Captain Audria George and her team that have worked tirelessly leading up to these events to try to make sure that everything went smoothly and, again, to keep people safe. This job comes with a lot of sacrifices, and for the men and women of various law enforcement entities that helped out last night, one of those sacrifices was not watching the game, but watching our community to make sure that people were safe. And I want to thank them, each and every one of them, because this is their victory just as well as everyone else in this city. We all hold Oklahoma City very close to our hearts right now. We're very proud. Some safety tips that are really big priorities for us tomorrow is, number one, no drones, no fireworks or grills for you tailgaters. Please, please, please. In order to keep things running smoothly and keep people safe, please stay behind the barriers. Don't leave bags unattended. And if you see a bag that's unattended, please report that. Call 911 or reach out to your nearest police officer. There will be plenty, and let us know. Please, if you see anything suspicious or anything that's inappropriate, please also alert the police so that we can respond accordingly. And again, try to keep people safe. Please celebrate responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And again, to echo the thoughts of the mayor and double down, cell reception will be a little spotty with that much bandwidth. So, number one, if you're bringing kids, please, please, please stay with your children. Number two, make sure that your children know your contact information or have that contact information on them. And third, have a plan. Have a plan to meet at a certain location if you get separated. Again, this is unprecedented for this city. It's probably one of the biggest things we've ever had to celebrate. We want everyone to be the best version of themselves. You know, the Oklahoma City Thunder have represented this city on the biggest stage there is, and they did it brilliantly. We want to make sure that we celebrate them the exact same way they represented us. So, again, I'm going to ask everyone to be on their best conduct. One city, one team. Let's take care of each other. Let's go Thunder. And without further ado, I want to welcome my friend, Chief Kelly from the Fire Department.
All right, I got to move it up here a little bit. I'm kind of a tweener, so I'm gonna wear the championship hat. I'm not one that gets to celebrate a lot of championships. I had to think about it. I think my last one was in 1994 when I won the fire department volleyball championship. It's not on a big stage like we are today, but you know, when I thought of this and was thinking about what we're going through, the mayor said it earlier, and thank you, Mayor, for your comments, and Chief Basie. And it takes a team effort to really accomplish what's going on in our city. And I thought of what the mayor brought up was the Oklahoma Standard, and that's so important. And I'm going to tie that back to how we take care of each other, how we respond, and it really is what embodied this Thunder team. Congratulations to the Oklahoma City Thunder. What a great time in our city. But really, if you think about the care, compassion, grit, determination, and all of us coming together as a team, they embodied that. And it's so important, and I'm asking you tomorrow as you come together as part of this city that you also embody that Oklahoma Standard as we take care of each other. A couple things I really want to point out is, this didn't happen overnight. You always listen to Coach Dagnall, and he always talked about they win the days in between the games. And that was from pre-planning. And what we're asking you is to pre-plan for this event tomorrow. So some things that I want you to be prepared for when you show up down here to have a good time and celebrate is, remember the weather is going to be in the 80s. So it's going to be actually closer to 90 tomorrow. And you know how Oklahoma City and Oklahoma weather is. You might get a little wind, but not a whole lot. So we want to make sure that you're hydrated. Make sure you wear appropriate clothes, loose clothes, good shoes. You're going to be walking, so make sure anything that you get around in. Sunscreen, make sure you take care of yourself in that. And when we talk about hydration, we're thinking about tomorrow. You get ready for the game tomorrow, today. So make sure you're staying hydrated today. Really, when we look at that, we talk about hydration is about half your body weight in ounces of water. So you can figure that out, but make sure you're drinking that today. If you know you're coming down here, pre-plan so we don't have an event while you're here. Throw in some hydration, some type of Gatorade or something in that to help make sure that you're staying hydrated. Bring a bottle with you. We're going to have some hydration stations in several different areas throughout the city. The west side of the Scissortail Park, the community court at Reno and Walker, Together Square, and then Bicentennial Park, which is out in front of the Civic Center. So those will be areas you can fill up your water bottle. And I would probably say bring a thermos, something you can keep cold. But remember, stay ahead of that. Hydrate today, making sure you're planning and doing all the things. We're going to be here to make sure you're safe in our city. That is what we're set up to do, designed to do. The police department, IMSA, everyone is pulled together in that. The Oklahoma Standard to make sure it's safe. We're excited to see everyone here. Remember about shoddy cell service. We're so used to picking up our phone and calling 911. Have a plan. The other part of that plan is see something, say something. If you see something that doesn't look right, say something. If you see someone that's having an emergency, find a police officer, find an IMSA worker, find a firefighter, find someone in a city uniform and tell them you have an emergency because you may not have cell service. So plan ahead in that area. So it's so important we all pull on this rope together, and we're excited to have a great time in our city tomorrow to celebrate this championship with the Oklahoma City Thunder and everyone involved in the city. And at this time, I'm going to ask one of my good friends to come up here, the Director of Operations for the Western Division, Michael Parrish, is going to come up and give you some few notes on that. So Thunder up.
Good morning. It's exciting to be here. This is truly a historic moment. I'm born and raised in Oklahoma City. Never would have thought I would have seen the chance or seen the opportunity to have a professional NBA team and win the championship. It's pretty amazing, and very proud to be a part of it. As Chief was saying, I just kind of want to give a rundown and talk a little bit about what we're planning for tomorrow and kind of go over some things that we've been working on. First of all, I'd like to say, IMSA, we're proud to be a part of this extensive multi-agency effort and the planning started weeks ago. We were preparing for this. We've had not only local and state help come from different departments and federal agencies. We've been all the way through getting help from all over the country. Our teams are fully integrated into this unified command structure to ensure real-time coordination and response to any situation. Our top priority tomorrow is going to be public safety. To that end, we've implemented a scalable, layered medical response plan designed for dense urban environments and large crowds. I expect it's going to be very densely crowded tomorrow, so please, like Chief was saying, stay hydrated. You know that heat's going to go up. You're not going to feel that wind. Stay hydrated and bring some sunscreen. We're also going to have fixed first aid and cooling stations along the parade route. If you start to feel like you're getting too hot, dizziness, you stop sweating or anything like that, immediately look for not only a police officer, a firefighter, or IMSA personnel, but those first aid cooling stations will be definitely a major help for you. We'll also have mobile response teams on foot, on bikes, golf carts, and ambulances to reach out, to reach patients quickly. Even in a tight or crowded area, please keep an eye out for them. If you do see them, just try to give them some room and space to work, take care of our community that's out there. We do have ambulance strike teams as well positioned at key access points for rapid transport. So whenever if we do have a medical event or a medical emergency, we have the means necessary to take that person or that patient to the outside edge of the parade route and have a transport unit ready for them. We're closely working with local hospitals and our regional medical response system, who's actually partnered with OU Medical Center, that are staffing medical tents and aid stations throughout the route and in Scissortail Park. We've also activated our surge staffing protocols to meet the demands of an event expected to draw over 500,000 people. IMSA has deployed roughly 50 medical personnel just from IMSA alone, and then our response partners in the metro here, as well as the fire department. None of this is actually taking away from our 911 operations. In total, our medical branch is going to include over 200 medical personnel and 38 response units covering every aspect of emergency medical support. Finally, if you or someone near you experiences any type of medical emergency, please alert the nearest police officer, firefighter, or IMSA medic, and so we can get the help to that person that we need. Thank you all for your time. I will go ahead and turn it over to Director of Embark, Jesse Rush.
Good morning. My name is Jesse Rush. I'm the Director for Embark, our Public Transportation and Parking Department for the City of Oklahoma City. I am officially wearing my Thunder suit, Thunder colors. What an honor to be part of this team. I want to give a special shout out to Captain Audrey George. She's been helping coordinate all of this. Just really, really excited to be part of that team. So for public transit tomorrow, so we are anticipating a lot of folks downtown. So we will actually be shutting down our transit center to the public, but we will be relocating our transit center to the Oklahoma City Fairgrounds. So we'll still be providing transit service tomorrow during the parade and during the event. So please plan ahead when it comes to transit. There will be a lot of detours in place, and we're anticipating some service delays with the amount of folks that we anticipate being downtown. That includes our fixed route service and our BRT service. For Oklahoma City Streetcar, we will not begin service until the parade concludes, and we have coordinated with Captain George that it is safe to do so. When it comes to parking downtown, so with the parade route downtown, there's going to be many street closures, including the streets adjacent to the parade route. And so there's going to be limited parking downtown. So it is first come, first served. So please get downtown as soon as possible. That includes on-street parking. If you are in one of the areas that has been shut down, we ask that you move your vehicle as soon as possible. It will be towed. That would be for the safety of those included in the parade and the folks coming downtown. We will have we'll have two public parking garages open to the public. That is the Century Center garage at the northeast corner of Sheridan and E.K. Gaylord, and then the Convention Center garage directly adjacent to the Omni Hotel here. Most importantly, we will be offering Park and Ride, right? So we have partnered with 3 locations for Park and Ride. The first being at Remington Park. We're anticipating about 3,000 parking spaces available at Remington Park. We'll be providing 15-minute shuttles from Remington Park to downtown. We're going to try to get you as close as we can to the parade, but doing that safely and with that world-class service that we always provide. We're also going to have a Park and Ride location at the state capitol, the South Lot. Same situation there. We'll be providing Park and Ride shuttle service from that South Lot at State Capitol to downtown. And then finally, at the OKC Fairgrounds, we'll have a Park and Ride location there. We're anticipating about 2,000 parking spaces being available there. Again, first come, first serve, and we'll be providing 15-minute frequency shuttle service from the fairgrounds there to downtown. Again, we're going to be trying to get you as close as we possibly can to the parade route, and then we'll also be providing those shuttle services back to those park and ride locations. So we're going to bring you downtown, and we're going to get you back to your cars as safely as possible. We do recommend that you carpool, right? With the amount of folks that we're expecting downtown, the least amount of cars as possible is helpful. With that, a safety tip, there are going to be a lot of folks downtown, so please be aware there's going to be a lot of folks crossing streets, so please be on the lookout for pedestrians. And then again, just that Oklahoma standard, look out for each other. As been mentioned several times, if you see something, be sure to say something. Reach out to anybody that you see in a city uniform. Anybody wearing an Embark vest can also help, so just be sure to reach out. And so we're looking forward to doing this, and go Thunder. So at this point, I'll turn it back over to Mayor Holt.
Thank you, Jesse, and thank you, everyone, for that helpful information. You've heard a lot about Captain George. I'll echo that. Captain George is beloved in the city, and her special events team along with her, because of how much they do, what they're a part of, and how selfless they are. They don't ever get to see Thunder games because they're outside. I know exactly where Captain George is. She's at the traffic control box every game night, and as far as I know, has been for years. And we're just so grateful for all that she and her team have done and will do in the days ahead. I want to mention, in keeping kind of with the reality I stated earlier about downtown operations, on behalf of the city manager, and by the way, Craig Freeman, obviously all of these folks work at his direction, and we're very grateful for his work and his leadership of that team. Craig Freeman has decided that most city offices will be closed tomorrow, the ones that are non-essential, obviously, to this particular event. So just keep that in mind. Maybe tomorrow's not your day to file for a new building permit or something. Like, that's not going to be possible. So so those offices will largely be closed in the city infrastructure, and I'm sure a lot of other downtown functions as well. But as the mayor, it seemed like a good idea for me to mention that. Of course, we have 5,000 city employees, although many of them will be tied to this event. And finally, again, I said this earlier, but just so much gratitude to the Greater Oklahoma City Chamber staff, the Thunder staff, the Downtown OKC Partnership staff, obviously the City of OKC staff, and all of the businesses downtown for their support and partnership in the planning of this and its execution. With that, I think we'd just like to open it up for questions. And yeah, I can obviously parse them out if I don't really know the answer. Steve?
So have you heard back from some of the major downtown employers like Continental, Devon, state government that Chicago Power, OG&E, as to whether or not they're going to try to have normal operations tomorrow? It's obviously it'd be very difficult for them to even get there.
Right, right. I don't know, Jennifer, have you had any specific communications? Maybe you feel comfortable speaking, at least in generalities, about some of your conversations with large downtown employers? This is Jennifer Nakayama of Downtown OKC.
Definitely not a when you and I are together. Hi, Jennifer Nakayama, CEO and President of Downtown Oklahoma City Partnership. So the downtown large employers and major stakeholders have been in discussions in the preceding days. They are taking the advisement very seriously, as Mayor Holt is saying, about keeping employees' safety in mind and their transportation needs. So each are deliberating on that very thing this morning. I think a lot of information will come out from those entities very, very soon, especially for their employees, and they're considering parking locations as well as just, as Mayor Holt says, being able to enjoy these festivities of this historic moment.
Quick follow-up, are you advising restaurants to close down downtown?
No, we have not. The city and DOKC are not advising necessarily for restaurants and retail to shut down. It is everybody's own business decision, and we understand that their business plans need to take precedence over anything that the mayor or any organization advises in that sense. But we do know that there are going to be on the order of several 100,000, gratefully so, coming to celebrate our city, and there will be a lot of foot traffic and other things looking for services. So it can be an opportunity for a lot of retail and restaurants, but we also understand that there may be a pinch point to get your staffing and your resources, your deliveries, things like that. So a lot of things weighing into those decisions for them.
Yeah, I think earlier and throughout when we've been talking about, the operations of downtown entities, we're talking about office workers. I think to your point, Steve, yeah, I mean, obviously, it would be to our benefit if a lot of restaurants and retailers would remain open, but that's ultimately a decision they'll have to make. But yes.
On the public safety side, I know the police chief just talked about the presence that police officers will have in all this. Can you talk about more of the partnerships from across the metro coming in to work with this? And also, is there a number that we can give of how many law enforcement officers will be on this? Obviously, last night there was a
Chief, you like it?
shooting on the west side of City Park, the east side. So I just wanted to see if there's a little bit more of an update we can get on that.
I can't quantify the numbers for you. I can tell you that we have partnerships from around the state that are lending their personnel and their assets to Oklahoma City for this monumental moment. And if any of you were out last night, you saw different uniforms. Those are our community and law enforcement partners from around the state that have volunteered to step up and help us in this moment with this, what we know is a very large and difficult task. You mentioned the shooting last night, and I'll just tell you that was an unrelated incident with juveniles away from the incident. So it's a reminder to something I said earlier. You've heard the Oklahoma Standard mentioned a lot of times up here. And for those that are a generation or two below, it's about how we respond and how we treat each other. And so with that being said, I'm going to double down on that. Please be the best version of yourself when you come to this event. And it's probably not the most popular thing to say, but if you feel like you can't do that, then this is probably going to be on television and you can watch it at home. But for the most of us, the city and everyone else who supports the Thunder, we want a great opportunity to celebrate this team who has represented us and put us on the biggest stage. So thank you.
Chief, I have a question for you. Are these all local law enforcement partnerships, or are we seeing like National Guard come in, anything like that?
Yes, we do have some partnerships. You will probably see National Guard uniforms, and very glad you asked that question. They're there to help keep people safe. You're going to see uniforms they're all in state, but you'll have people from, I don't want to start naming people because I'll leave people out, but you'll see state agencies, you'll see county agencies, you'll see local municipalities from all over the state that are coming here to help us with this event. And I can't thank those agencies enough for their partnership and their friendship and their collaboration.
Chief, how many agencies are going to be assisting tomorrow? Do you have a count?
I don't have that exact number for you at this moment.
Dozens?
I don't know that it's dozens, but it's quite a few.
On a different question for you.
Yeah.
We just asked about the National Guard, potential other partnerships, but has there been conversations with the state government, the governor, about, potentially the state giving resources to the city of Oklahoma City? Because obviously there's a law enforcement thing, but anything else like emergency response?
Well, it's kind of all the same. Chief, anything specifically about the state? I mean, Captain George and her team kind of coordinate directly with emergency management. I assume there's conversations that happen there. Is that? Highway Patrol, yeah. Is that responsive? Yeah. Okay, any other questions?
When should people, if they're not coming to the parade, what time do you think things will open back up for regular business or things like that?
Wednesday. I mean, really, I've had that conversation a little bit with people, can you have a meeting at 4? Why? Just wait till Wednesday. I don't push it. I just think if you kind of look at the TikTok here, okay, so you got a 10:30 parade, that goes till noon, take a few minutes to kind of get ready for this closing event. Maybe that's another half hour. I mean, so programming is lasting till almost 1 o'clock. And as I said earlier, I mean, egress from this event is going to take hours. So, I mean, could you maybe go see a movie at 8 o'clock? Okay, maybe, but I wouldn't plan any work day type activity tomorrow. Yes.
I have a question for Jesse.
Okay, Jesse, come on up.
Yes, sir.
This is based on past park and ride experiences
Yep.
I've had
Mhm.
in Dallas. So, can a person count on where they're going to be dropped off
Yeah,
on a park and ride? Do you have that information?
we do.
And will that be at the start of the park and ride? And then also, will there be fixed locations where people can go to get back in these park and rides?
Yep, great question, Steve. So if you park at the OKC Fairgrounds, we're going to be picking you up and we're going to drop you off in front of the SGA mural there at Main and Lee. And if you're parking at Remington Park or at the state capitol lots, we're going to be dropping you off at on Broadway around 7th Street. And if that's where you get dropped off, that's where you get picked up to go back to those park and ride locations.
And how about the Capitol lots?
Yeah, same 7th and Broadway.
So the Capitol and Remington Park will be 7th and Broadway.
Yep.
Fairgrounds will be over there, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So if you think about it, right, with the OKC Fairgrounds being on the west side of Oklahoma City, similar to what Mayor Holt has said, if you're on the west side, you're going to be on the west side, right? So we will drop you off on the west side of the parade route. And then if you're coming from Remington Park or the Capitol, we're coming from the east side, we're going to drop you off on the east side of the parade.
And to be clear, then people who use Embark to get around the city as a whole, they are to realize that the transfer station will not be open, it will be at Fairgrounds.
100% correct, yep. We are still providing transit services, but we are anticipating several delays. But with that point, we are exactly right. We are relocating our transit center to the OKC Fairgrounds, and that's where you'll make your transfers to other routes and things like that. Yep.
Are you using buses from other systems to
Nope.
augment services, or you feel good that you've
We
done that?
we feel great. Yep.
How many do you have?
So we're going to have 5 that'll be providing the parking, or 5 for each parking lot location. So we're anticipating about 15-minute frequency for those park and ride locations, and then the rest of our transit service will be providing bus service for that. Good. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
You have the route that goes through Midtown, you know, down to Supertail Park and everything. Were there conversations about making it longer and adding in other spots, especially like, you know, Bricktown's a pretty popular area. Were there conversations about other places on the route?
I mean, we talked about everything you could possibly imagine, but ultimately just with logistics or viewing areas, I mean, you're really trying to think about, I mean, you look at things like, you know, where there's the most capacity for crowd. This just ultimately ended up, you know, working the best. And I'd say there's some really great landmarks along the way. I mean, the arena, the Oklahoma City National Memorial, you know, I mean, there's some City Hall that's going to be close to this. So, you know, I think that's nice too, the symbolism. But I think ultimately a lot of it just came down to just kind of what works logistically and where are the widest pedestrian areas for spectators.
Are there any
Sure.
areas along the parade route designated for people with wheelchairs or mobility issues?
Good question. I don't know who to answer that.
The accessible area will be in front of City Hall.
Okay. So there is a designated.
We'll have a sign language interpreter there.
Okay, so the designated accessible area is in front of City Hall, Bicentennial Park, and that is also where we'll have the sign language interpreter. Yes, Steve?
Coach Carlisle announced that we'll be having buses in the parade.
Yeah, well, no, he's been a part of this planning team too. We really appreciate the early announcement on that. Yeah, no, go ahead.
How many buses are going to be involved? I assume those are for the team players and staff.
Right, right.
So will the parade feature anything else besides the team and everybody on those buses?
I don't know how many buses. Does anybody know that off the top of their head? Kind of a fun question. I don't know how many were in that video, I guess. What's that, Dan? Okay. Okay, about half a dozen buses. And yeah, there'll be like, in addition to the players themselves, which is obviously the main event, but there'll be, I think, some members of the Thunder family, you know, which are certainly well-deserved, as well as maybe some community leaders.
Well, I was curious about, like, in Boston, they've got the boat
Yeah, like a,
buses or whatever.
right. the ducks or something. Yeah, yeah.
Is there gonna be anything besides the buses, I guess, in the parade? Will there
Oh, yeah, I think there'll be like trucks and trailers. I mean, nothing too fancy, nothing, no ducks.
Will
Yeah.
will there be elements of our community in that parade beyond?
Well, I mean, maybe I should say, I mean, it's not the Centennial Parade, right? It's not necessarily meant to capture the entire spectrum of life in Oklahoma City. I mean, it's the Thunder's Champions Parade, right? So, so for the most part, it is focused on the Thunder, So, I think to the greatest extent possible, we want to try to capture, the diversity of our city, but it's not like, here's what's awesome about Oklahoma City Parade. It's about the Thunder, and that will be certainly 90% of the focus. You'll see what's awesome about Oklahoma City in the 500,000 people watching. That's going to be an amazing moment, unifying our city like we've never seen before. Any other questions? Yeah, it's okay, Steve. You can go all day. Welcome to Steve's press conference. No. We love it. It's good. Go.
I hate to be the one that has to ask this, but we're under a heightened terrorism alert right now. Has that changed planning for this, or with Oklahoma City's experience, what do y'all do?
You want to come to the podium for that one? Yeah. No, I think that's certainly a question on people's minds, I'm sure. So, yeah, let's address that.
So, Steve, being Oklahoma City, we consider those things in advance for any incident or any event that we're planning. And so, it's just part of our pre-planning. And, of course, without going into a lot of detail, we're monitoring things as they progress and trying to keep an eye on those things, and we'll adjust as we need to, but that's always part of our pre-planning to, we think worst case scenario and build from there. And again, hopefully that's the importance, and we keep doubling down on this. See something, say something. If you see something suspicious, please notify someone in uniform. Again, at the same time, it's everybody's job to keep everybody safe. And that's why we keep saying that we're eliciting our public to make sure that here in Oklahoma City, we have the best possible outcome. So again, that's something that's being considered. That's something that's being monitored, and we'll adjust as we need to. But it's something that we've been really, really paying attention to.
Steve, I want you to know I just ignored a call from Commissioner Silver. That's how much respect I have for your work here. Any other questions from Steve or otherwise? Yes, yeah.
So you said that cell service is going to be spotty, but have a plan, have an emergency plan. Are there going to be enough officers to wave one down if I can't get through? I have to call 911. So we're set up there.
Yeah, I'm assuming officer presence will be intense. It's probably a good dry run for the Olympics, I would think. This is in terms of the security presence you're going to see. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you for sharing this message with the people of Oklahoma City and Thunder fans everywhere. And let's all be safe and let's have fun tomorrow. Thunder up. Thank you.